Good morning, ladies. I wanted to introduce you to my two little guys, these little kitties that we just got. I've been meaning to for a while, but yeah, so I thought I'd share them with you. This is Sprinkles, and this is Mr. Sugar, this is, which one's which? This is Mr. Sprinkles, and this is Mr. Sugar Plum. Those are the names you get when a 6-year-old names your kittens. It'll be interesting when she gets 18 and is like, okay, these are the names I chose. I'll let them go play. You might hear them, they're a little bit noisy. So any of you who are just joining me in the group and new to the group, welcome to the group. I am Amy Bolton, and I am here to help support you guys during this journey of yours. I've been there, I get it, and I'm here to share my knowledge with you and my experience with you and help you lots. And my cats are crazy, they're climbing on my curtains. Anyways, so I'm here today to talk to you guys about some questions that I'd asked in the group. So I asked you guys what you would like to know, and so I can do a Q&A. So I had a few people ask some questions, and I will answer these. And I'd like to do this on a more regular basis. So if you're watching the replay, feel free to leave a question in the comments, and I will answer them the next time around. And otherwise, I'll put another post too. So if you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. I'm here. So I'll get right to the questions and chat to you guys about those and let you know how it's going. And also with me and my kitties, I know I just showed you the kitties. If you're watching the replay, feel free to post in the comments what animals you have at home. One thing I wanted to mention to you guys is one thing I've learned, and a little tip that I'll give you, is if you're ever thinking of getting kittens, which I end up fostering a lot of my animals, adopting them and such. And these guys were kind of in a situation where they needed a safe home. Spaying and neutering, I'm a big advocate of that. So I got them. And I wouldn't recommend, especially if you're struggling with anxiety, to get little kittens when you have a toddler in the house, because it has been quite stressful having a toddler in the house and having little kittens. So just one of my little pointers of the day. But in our situation, it's working out, and my youngest is learning to be patient and calm. A few scratches on the way, but yeah. So if you can avoid that, maybe wait till they're a little older, or get the kittens when they're really, really, I don't know, before they're born, and then they can be older when they get older. Anyways, so I love my animals. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats now. So on to the questions, ladies. So, and if you're joining me live, feel free to say hi, let me know how you're doing, and tell me about your animals. I love animals. So I'm gonna get started here. And so the first question was from Juliana, and she asked, she would love a more natural approach rather than medication. What do I think about meditation and yoga? So personally, I love both. So we'll start with meditation. Meditation is a wonderful means of relaxation. Now it wasn't always that way. It took me a while to become comfortable with it. And one means of that was through guided meditation. So you can always search up guided meditations that can help you kind of get familiar with the way a meditation works. And I have done meditations just myself, and meditation can be anything from just, for a few minutes, just sitting there, quieting your thoughts. And, I always like the visualization of imagining, if your thoughts pop in, imagining a cloud floating away, or if you're feeling more racing, maybe imagining a train racing them away, but just trying to get those thoughts out of your mind and just kind of getting that blank, clear mind as much as you can. And that's in that free space is where we find that peace and that calm, and sometimes we can come up with some great ideas. So again, It's not always for everybody right away, but just trying short little bits. I love guided meditations for going to bed. They've helped me a lot, helped me shut down my brain and refocus on relaxing, calm. There's lots of wonderful meditations. I have the Hay House meditation app on my phone, and there's all kinds of different meditations downloaded there all the time. Some are more specific for relaxing, for going to bed. Others are more specific for working through different blocks that you're having in your day-to-day life. So it all depends on kind of what's going on. You can find a meditation suited to what you're feeling. So that's pretty cool. And I do definitely recommend trying those out, and that's the best way to get started that way. And then just exploring other avenues. And as for yoga, I personally love yoga when I do it. It is very calming, very soothing, and it's also a great way to get that bit of exercise, more relaxing type of exercise into your routine. I love doing, the other thing I love doing with my 6-year-old is she's been doing, I used to do a little yoga toddler group. So with moms and toddlers, and then we also did a yoga baby group. So yoga is a lot of fun. You can do it with your kids, you can do it with your baby, and there's lots of groups out there for that sort of thing. Don't mind my cats attacking each other. Anyway, so that's what's really cool about yoga. The neat thing about yoga too is it meets your masculine and feminine energies, so it kind of has that balance, right? And it kind of balances things out. I love that part about it. It makes me feel super calm. After a yoga session, I just feel so amazing. The other thing I wanted to mention too with yoga and with meditation is that sometimes if we've had traumas in the past, or what one of the ladies that I've done workshops with, she calls a trauma baby. So if we've had traumas through our childhood or traumas through our past, and we've still haven't worked through a lot of that, sometimes it can be hard to close our eyes during yoga or during meditation. But there are alternative options if that's the case for you. So let me know if you have any issues with that, closing your eyes, you'd prefer not to. We can talk about some different options out there for you to deal with your anxiety or your depression, and helping you calm and find that balance, that grounding. So more grounding activities, because some people can be a bit scared away from some of these more woo-woo ideas, right? So with yoga, you don't necessarily have to close your eyes, especially if you're just watching a DVD, or if you're, there are groups that are specific to open eyes kind of thing. So you don't have to feel that is the only option. There are lots of different options out there for you. So those are some of my thoughts on meditation and yoga. If you have any other questions, let me know if that answers that, Juliana, and let me know what you think. And let me know if you've tried it, if you're interested. I'd love to hear what you think about that, and if you found that helpful. So that's that. And so on to the next question. Kimberly asked this question. She said she wanted to know better ways to deal with panic attacks and anxiety. Breathing exercise sometimes help. So dealing with panic attacks and anxiety, and I remember my first panic attack, and it was awful, and I would never ever wish that on anybody. I thought I was having a heart attack. I was actually working in the pharmacy in the clinic here, and I had the nurse, I asked her, and she's like, okay, we'll get you checked out just to make sure, because I thought I was having a heart attack. It was very terrifying. Fortunately, I was not, and panic attacks are harmless. They will pass. So if you are having one, remember that, it will pass. So some of the suggestions that I have for dealing with that, again, like you say, breathing exercises sometimes do help. So that's a really good strategy. So keep doing that. And then distractions. So if you can find some sort of distraction, finding different sensories. So can you smell something? Can you hear something? Can you see something? Is there food around? Can you taste something, right? I got my coffee here, so things like that. So using those other senses will help bring you from it if you can at the moment. Visualizing something pleasant. So thinking about things that are pleasant that you would enjoy. I love visualizations, and I do them every morning. So this kind of goes back to Juliana's question about meditation. So every morning I do a meditation in the shower. So a visualization of the water coming down and washing everything away so that I have what I need. So it's getting rid of all that negative energy. Anything that I don't need is kind of washing that away. So there's so many visualizations. So you can visualize something that you enjoy. So a waterfall, nature, cuddly kitties, anything you like. So visualize something pleasant that you enjoy that will bring you out of it. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions. So I'm doing a Q&A, and I'd be happy to answer them. And also I was asking everybody if they're watching the replay to let me know if they have any animals. I had showed my little kittens in the beginning, so be sure to watch that again. They're kind of crazy running around here. So, so back to Kimberly's question, phoning somebody and talking to them about what's happening. So if you can, talking through it with somebody who you trust and you know. So having that as a plan that can help you. So talking through somebody about your panic attack and getting out of it that way. Now, the biggest thing that I would recommend, so those are more short-term strategies while you're struggling with a panic attack. The biggest long-term things are reducing your stress. So there's a reason you're having a panic attack. So your panic attack is telling you something. So reflecting, like, why is that happening? What is going on in my life? Aw, you do have animals. That's awesome. What kinds of animals do you have? Dogs, cats, or any other animals? I know there's lots of animals out there that we can have as household pets. So I love animals. I actually do an animal rescue society, so that's pretty cool. Oh, a horse, rabbits, 4 cats, and 2 dogs and cows. Wow, that's exciting. Actually, I grew up on a farm, so when I was younger, we had llamas. We had goats, we had bighorn sheep, we had rabbits, we had lots of rabbits. Yeah, you know how rabbits are. We had cats and dogs, and what else did we have? We had all kinds. We had like a funny farm. We had, we did have a couple cows, we had pigs. So I'm very passionate about animals, and one day I think my husband and I will get a few more exotic or more farmy animals, because I just love them, and it, brings me to my happy place, back to being a child with all the wonderful animals running around. So that's so cool. So with anxiety, animals help a lot too, right? So being around your animals, I'm sure you find that a very calming, peaceful thing as well. Hey, Kim. So the long-term strategies are figuring out what is causing that panic attack, right? So thinking about it, like what is leading up to that, and can we deal with that? Can we figure out a means of dealing with that stress that's going on? So taking care of your feelings and taking care of yourself. So I'm a big advocate of self-care. I'm a big advocate of looking after yourself and digging into the root of the problem before the problem exists. So let's try and prevent these panic attacks from happening. And if anybody's experiencing panic attacks, reach out and let me know if you want to work on those strategies of preventing them, because this is huge. This is so huge. And that was the thing. If I think back to when I had my first panic attack, I was living in a very, very stressful place in my life. I had lots of very stressful things going on in my life. So those are the things I had to work on. I remember at that point in my life, that was the very first time I ever had a massage. Now, this is this is so fascinating to me because what ended up happening is it was progression. So the first time I had a massage, I used to carry everything in my neck and shoulders. I used to have headaches all the time. I would take Tylenol. My mom always took Tylenol and ibuprofen, so I thought, okay, that's okay. So I would take that as a result of that. And so as a progression through getting massages monthly, I started to learn, okay, I'm learning how to alleviate that stress. I'm learning how to alleviate that pressure that I'm carrying on things. So that is what I ended up having to do, is I ended up having to figure out what stresses were going on in my life and learning how to reduce those and learning how to deal with them individually. And it's not just going to happen overnight. Trust me, I know. But these are the things that we need to work on. And I hear my daughter waking up. So she's coming. And she's having a hard time with the door. So I'm just going to grab the ladies. I hear you. So these are the real live mommy moments in my life. This is my daughter just waking up. So yes, dogs do help me with my anxiety, Kim says. Yes. And our animals are so special and so important in our lives to help us calm down. So I hope that helps you, Kim, with your panic attacks. And I hope some of those strategies help you. And if anybody else is struggling with that, let me know if that helps. I would be more than willing to sit with you and chat with you and hop on a free call and chat with you about your stress and see if we can relieve some of that to prevent these panic attacks from happening, because that's the ultimate thing, is we want to prevent it before it happens. So the last question that I did have was from Jody. And Jody wanted to learn ways to get out of her head and refocus so she doesn't send herself into a full-blown panic attack. So it kind of answered a lot of that with Kimberly's question. And that's the biggest thing, is taking that time to figure out what stress is going on. So you can do things like journaling and figuring out what's going on. One thing I love is morning pages. So it's like getting up early if you can. I know it's hard with kids. I have a really hard time getting up before my kids sometimes. But if you can get up and just write a page, just write, free write, and not even think about what you're writing, just get it off your brain, and figure out kind of what stresses are going on, what's going on in your head, and what do we need to deal with. Again, going back to when I answered Juliana's question, is meditation and yoga are another great approaches. So make sure to watch the replay. Make sure to go through this, Jody, if you're not joining us today, and look at those options to refocus. Again, I mentioned earlier the shower meditation that I do every morning. This has been a huge change for me, a huge savior for me, having these shower meditations. It was my way because I had so much going on that I thought I had to multitask. I had to do everything at once. I had no time for anything else. Being a new mom, having all these things going on, I was like, I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to do all these other things, add in journaling, add in all this. So that was my way to fit in a shower in the morning, because we have to be clean, and then also do meditation at the same time. And I've created this as a ritual. Every morning that I have a shower, I notice it, like the mornings that I don't do it, I notice it. So I just visualize that shower like a waterfall, just flushing away any negative energy, any negative things. And I'll try and quiet my brain and imagine the thoughts just being flushed down the drain, flushed off of me. And that's been huge, huge, huge. So finding tools that are going to help you reduce that stress again, right? So long-term strategies are reducing that stress level. So thinking about what is causing the stress, what can I do to reduce that stress? So let me know if that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything you've tried, and I hope you guys find this helpful, because all of your questions kind of interlink in a way, so you might find little bits of all of them helpful. So feel free, if you're watching the replay, let me know if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you found that helpful at all. And again, I asked in the beginning, let me know if you have any pets at home, if you find them helpful in calming your anxiety, helping you relax. And I'd love to hear about that. And if you didn't watch from the beginning, watch in the beginning, and I showed you my little kitties that we have. Yeah, your Sprinkles and Sugar Plum, hey? Yeah. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna get to getting to my girls and get them their breakfast and get them ready to go for the day. And as always, I love chatting with you guys, and reach out anytime if you have any questions, or if you want to hop on a call and see if we can work through some of these blocks and these stressful things that are going on. And Kim says she's going to totally try the shower meditation. Mornings are crazy with 4 kids, but I love that idea. Yeah, it's perfect because they're used to you having a shower anyway, so hopefully they leave you alone. I know this little one loves to hop in the shower with me sometimes. So if I can hop in the shower before she wakes up, it's a good time. But it's a good way to, get 2 birds, as they say, with 1 stone. It's you get two things, better bang for your buck, all those things. Alrighty, ladies, I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have a lovely Friday, and I will be back chatting to you next week, likely. So have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.